All right, I'm joined by Kylie, who has recently just fresh from battle, done with the job hunt, and she's going to go ahead and talk about I don't know how many job hunts have you done with us recently?
I mean,
Like total duration.
it's been a journey.
Okay.
I actually started with Rich in 2019. And the big reason why I joined is because I had a hard time pitching
Mhm.
myself and how in this market. So as he's been a great leader, when it comes to giving guidance of like how to navigate PMs. So I was able to in 2019 land an offer over at Bloomberg and also have multiple offers. Previously, multiple offer windows were non-existent in my career prior. And after joining this program, I was able to understand the recruiting cycle, how to update my resume, how to communicate that to hiring managers, and really have a community of people navigate the conversation. I then started to join back in like recently as an instructor and also someone to participate in the program. I think something key with Product Gym that I would say is different than others, having a community is critical. Being able to connect with people in the community, also give them guidance and insights, little things like they're sharing job postings. Richard reinforced me to be a thought leader, join hackathons. All of these things equipped me to then thusly land. I would say I landed over 200 interviews and I got two offers in the pipeline. As you know, this job market right now is very hard. Rich was able to help us navigate how to reframe our resumes to being a thought leader. And a key reason why I got jobs in this marketplace is because of my thought leadership. I legitimately referenced all of that to the recruiters, to my hiring managers. They saw it. That's why I was in multiple final round interviews because I wasn't only just surfacing my resume. That is just not enough in this marketplace anymore. You have to show your legitimacy. You have to show examples, participating in the hackathons. So overall, Rich has just been a great resource and also other members in the community as well. And he has great materials too to share, even if it's on AI, learning about new vibe coding to understanding how to navigate just branding yourself. I have used this as a resource, and I can tell you I would not be landing jobs without Product Gem. So I just figured, yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Like, what do you feel like has been the biggest differences in this job hunt compared to, in 20, it was work. Like I think we met each other, what, 2018, 2019?
2019. Yeah. So we met,
2019. Yeah.
yeah. It
So,
was I would say the resume held a little bit more weight than it does now. And I would also say when it comes to the resume, the insights, action oriented and when you do it matters now. You can't just say, "Oh, I performed this task. I made X revenue within this duration of time." Diving into product strategy or through a feature initiative. It's just not, you just can't get away with tasks. You always have to immediately show impact. So throughout the process, you have to show that insight. I would say just something I've learned from this program, and I think is kind of my superpower. I think you have to really surface why you can serve that particular problem and keep bringing that into the conversation. You don't necessarily have to work in that industry, but if you know the persona, if you've interviewed them before, if you've solved a certain problem, it could be legacy, could be anything, take onus on that. That is going to be the difference between you going into day one into the job. Because at the end of the day, like you can't just say, oh, I have X, Y, and Z. You have to explicitly say, I know these tools, I know this problem, I know the impact. Here's what I'm talking about online. And that's kind of some of the things I've noticed. And I've noticed the thought leadership has also been really important They don't just want you to just do your work offline. They want you to surface things. They want you to show that insight and intel. Something that I would say is vastly different. It's more proof based on how AI right now is essentially everyone is putting titles and keywords and things like that. It's a matter of when you're interviewing, being able to be like, hey, not only can I learn these things, I can actually apply them and do them. So that's just some things.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, I think, right now is because like if you don't have that time, that was one thing that we were really specific about harping on this time around with the duration of like it's not just important of like what you did, but the time frame that you actually had it done when they're looking at your resume, because that's the next when recruiters are pitching you to the hiring manager, that's the next thing the hiring manager is going to go out there and ask the recruiter. They're going to be reading off of your resume and they're going to wonder like, well, how long did it take? Or they're going to want that extra bit of information because they're overworked on their side. So, uh, interview rounds, right? When they're actually going through the interview process, they're burnt out, just like you guys are burnt out. So you really have to be on point, helping the recruiter pitch you as best as possible. What about the actual interview process? You know, getting the interviews has been a major uphill battle, right? But that's only, I would say, really the first part of it. What about the actual interview process from like round one to, you know, the final round interview? Like, how do you feel like that's changed?
I think that's changed because you really, for your tell me about yourself, you really have to be specific and
Uh,
direct on the impact. Within like 30 seconds, you have to really reel them in if around why you connect to this job and what matters in your background. If you can't set that pitch up directly, that's going to basically direct into converting in the interview. That first question, I have literally have gotten in the rounds an ability to convert instantly within 2 minutes. And I think a key part is being able to slice and dice. I think I found you have to customize that a little bit more than you had to previously. I had a generic one in 2019, and that let me slide through the rounds. Now I literally have to look at the job posting, talk like, and then look at my resume and then explicitly call out every single item that's going to matter to them. And I also reframed it based on the persona too. If I'm talking to engineer, I'm talking velocity. If I'm talking to UX, I am explicitly talking about my user interviewing skills, or the hiring manager, they're going to know I hit those metrics and I'm going to help them hit theirs as well. So, really taking that personalized approach. I would also say a lot of the questions when it came to, they definitely did ones on planning, execution, and impact. Those were the ones that, and they were very much like, you can't mention AI in the interviews. Like they're very upfront. They are very smart about this now. So really be honest about your background. Also just bring personality to the mix. It's not just about being generic and being like, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Like, who are you really? Be comfortable talking about your failures because no one is perfect. And that is something that I really enjoyed is like how transparent you could be in the interview process. And I think that really speaks to like kind of PMs can be successful, but we also deal with failure. So allowing to create onus on that. That's the failure part was something I noticed more in this one because I think everyone right now is just looking like AI, trying to create the perfect prompt. But in reality, we're just human. We launch something and things can occur. So that's probably something I noticed in the interview process. Um,
It's this like the 0 to 1 is very, very real. So they want to see the imperfections, and that's why like 70% of the product management interview has been so centered on the behavioral questions because they want to see how it is that you're operating under stress. They want to go ahead and see like how do you go out there and actually manage adversity? Because we're in a wartime product. Like this is what like in the book that was written by Horowitz, Hard Thing About Hard Things. He's like, this is wartime product management, right? So you had for the last 15 years, you had a bunch of peacetime product managers, which is very unfortunate because they're getting rocked right now. And then it's the people that understand that we're in wartime product management that are actually, I would say, very much thriving. Um, Very cool. What final words do you have? I mean, let's talk a little bit about the app that you were able to whip up during the hackathon, Chosen. I
Yeah.
every time I say that app, I think about Golden from, K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I
Chosen.
kind of wanted to do a play of words. So when we were doing the hackathon, funny enough, I actually prior to the event came up with three different solutions. I actually came up with a fitness application, I had a mold detection, and then I had chosen. I actually started with the fitness application and I did it based on prompts. I had the most. But as I was doing it, and this is a great exercise with hackathons, I realized it was getting over engineered as I was doing it. And something hit me when I was talking, when Rick was talking. He's like, essentially, he's getting overwhelmed by the number of candidates coming at him with questions. This this cycle of how people are actually interviewing, it's not the same. We don't get the amount of interviews. So I actually decided that I was going to just make this app, which is called Chosen. It's an application that helps people who are prepping for interviews. It's not about during the interview and taking that feedback. It's about preparing for the planning, the roadmap questions, execution, and just really giving guidance and insights. So you can come into it not really needing AI or essentially being confident, being like, I'm landing this answer and I'm going to be landing the next round in the offer. So I made a quick application and automatically, which is why vibe coding is great, you get instant validation. Rich was very excited about the product and others as well. I've been able to sign up multiple people. I'm going to be starting a beta program, which is going to be 50 people can join the program. I'm also going to be some growth hacking as well to actually get interviews, not only because that is a crutch of my platform. So I'm just going to be scaling it in that way, starting with PMs and then going to land into other verticals as well. But doing the hackathon, I was able to just take through that process and also go through interviews as well. I was talking to multiple hiring managers and they were very impressed. I literally showed them my insights. And a big reason why I also got the job is because I had side projects to show I am actually doing something. I actually know this space. You can actually see what I did, share that insight. So, yeah, Chosen is something I'm building iteratively. And I'm excited to kind of grow this product. And I think that's the cool thing about hackathons, too.
Let's get it. Okay. We got a lot to talk about in terms of like monetization and actually we have the coaching call like in a few hours. And now that I'm back in the East Coast, yeah, I got off of the call with about go-to marketing and more specifically with how to do affiliate partnerships. And I
Hmm.
think we would love to go ahead and help you monetize Chosen. Um yeah, I see a play for it like very directly. Would love to go out there and help you monetize Chosen.
Yeah.
I think there's just so much opportunity here. Because you're absolutely right. The way that you pitched it, you're like, Rich is like, got multiple courses, he's over it. And the whole product management interview game, people get actually very good at the process when they start getting one offer. And that's actually why when most people are able to break through past that one offer barrier, they get multiple offers because the more you win, the more you keep on winning, right? And that's when the material is completely fresh in your head. We have so much of this data, and unfortunately, we're not like once they're done interviewing, like that data is just like it's just in somebody's brain and it's just going somewhere else, right? But now we actually have that as like a machine that can just constantly aggregate more information that's from proven uh, past interviews that real people actually had, and especially past interviews that people have converted. So if you think about the places that we've gotten people into just in the past year, like Disney, Disney Plus,
Yeah.
Hulu, Netflix. All I think everybody would love to see like not only what kind of questions people are asked, but the responses that they gave, how they were giving. It's really hard to replicate success when there isn't a very clear visual of what that success looks like. So if you were given like a very clear visual of this is what like a buffalo chicken pizza looks like, right? It's easier for you to replicate it when you're like, okay, if that's what you guys wanted, like I could have done it like that, just the way that you guys want it. But when you don't have a clear image of success, then yeah, it's difficult. You're just running around in circles.
Yeah, and something that I realized in your program too is I got better at the interviewing as I practiced more. And it's different now in this landscape because you don't have the opportunity to land as many interviews as you initially did. So I think a key part of the interview prep is like getting better at answering the questions.
Right.
And that is essentially also something I recognize in the hiring marketplace and something that I learned from your program too. Practice kind of lends you to be better at how you can answer those questions, and gauge that insight. So that's also why I thought this was an important tool as well. Um, yeah.
Let's get it. Let's get it. I love it. Okay. Well, I have to let you go. I have the
Yeah.
coaching call to prepare for in a little bit. But
Okay.
yo, let's get it. Anyways, Kylie, thank you so much. We're going to invite you back as a webinar, and I promise you we'll lend you the weight of the resources I have at my disposal. It's
Yeah.
not a lot, but it's considerable. Let's go out there and get that chosen app monetized.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Let's get it. And I'm literally, as we speak, are writing product user interview questions right now and insights. So this is real time. This is how it works, and we're gonna make it happen. So guys, Product Gym is great. Sign up if you haven't, or join the free community program. So
Thank you, thank you, thank you.